Welcome, strugglers, to another episode of Looking Back at Berserk, the 1997 anime. Today we'll be talking about Episode 8, Conspiracy. Let's jump right into it. The episode opens up with Void's monologue, per usual, then we get a replay of a couple scenes from last week's episode with Guts talking to Casca and Griffith, going into the opening theme. Out of the opening theme, we see Griffith and the other members of the Band of the Hawk waiting in the forest. We see Guts and his men working on a contraption in the river. Suradon looks over the castle wall and boasts that no one could take the castle from them. Guts sends word to Griffith and the others that they are ready to move to the next phase. Griffith and his men ride to a hill in view of the castle and start yelling, prompting the soldiers in the castle to start preparations. Guts and his soldiers use the contraptions to move horses and supplies across the river. Suradon thinks the Band of the Hawk is trying to trick him into sending men onto the battlefield. Rickard tells Griffith that Guts and the raiders have crossed. The Band of the Hawk retreat. Guts and his men trick the soldiers on watch into letting them in from the rear gate. They begin their attack on the castle. They are able to open the castle gate and blow a horn, signaling the Band of the Hawk to attack. The Band of the Hawk decimate the enemy, and you get a really cool moment with Guts and Griffith both killing soldiers and riding by one another. Suradon escapes on a raft, leaving his men behind. No surprise there. Griffith tells Guts he did well, as everyone looks on. Then, Judo throws a knife, killing a soldier about to shoot a crossbow. They have opened a path leading to Doldry. Suradon tries to explain to General Bascon what happened. Bascon is incredibly irritated with the Dawn. He tells Dawn he has to reclaim his honor. We see the Midland King bestowing the title of Count upon Griffith. Julius walks to the castle very irritated with Griffith. He overhears some women talking about how much they love him and becomes even more irritated. Then we see Foss coming up to Julius asking him what's wrong. Julius says nothing and is about to walk away. He tells Julius that the Band of the Hawk has been assigned to escort the king for the fall hunt. Julius is furious. Foss also tells him that it's quite possible Griffith could become a general. He mentions that in the act of hunting, many dangers lie. He suggests using an arrow with poison to get rid of Griffith. Julius likes this suggestion and walks away laughing. And that's the end of the episode. So this episode is mostly about the Band of the Hawk taking this castle, opening up the path to Doldry. You get some great Guts in this. He's working with the raiders to get everything across the river, then attacking the castle. You see how firmly he has established himself within the Band of the Hawk, how necessary he is to Griffith executing these plans. And you see the innovation, of course, as always, from Griffith's plans, why he always finds these ways to defeat the enemy when they're outnumbered. They should lose, but they always win. And that's why he's had this ascension within the Midland army that Julius is so frustrated with. And of course, Foss, he's always up to something, and he suggests the arrow with the poison, which is going to lead us to the hunt, and of course the order that he gives Guts later on. So some really exciting stuff to come, some great setup in this episode. I can't wait to talk about what's next. Please comment down below, let me know what you think of this, subscribe and like, and I'll catch you all next time.